There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. You know, it's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino Is the Name. Hey, yo, what's going on right now? You watching Casino Is the Name, and I'm sitting here with my cousin PJ. And this video was inspired by a conversation we were having. He mentioned to me that he was thinking about starting a trucking business. And I was like, oh, this is good. This is good because... Yeah, this is good because I know about that. And so we were talking about the Hotshot trucking business that he was thinking about starting because down his way, I think it's quite a few people doing it.
Yeah, quite a few people on and got into it.
Yeah, so we were just talking about, you know, how to get into it and about some of like the ways you find loads and things like that. And so I was like, man, cuz coming from down there, there's a Copart area down there where there's like a wrecker place where they auction off wrecked cars or something. And so if you just had like a 4-car hauler, it's a lot of cars coming to Atlanta, Middle Georgia area from down there. True. So we were just talking about the day-to-day, like ways that you can get some money on, you know, every day. So waking up in the morning down his way in South Georgia, going to, I think it's Tallahassee or Quincy, wherever might be Quincy. I'm not even sure right now. Midway, Florida. That's where it is. Okay, yeah. I think it's one in Midway, Florida. So you go there, cars usually cost about, they usually paying around $200, anywhere between, say, $200 to $250 per car or whatever. So to bring them to Atlanta. So if you got a 4-car hauler, they actually have a crane because the cars are messed up. They don't even run. But they come out with a little forklift, pick them up, drop them down on your trailer, and you put 4 of them on your trailer. Come to Atlanta. So if you got a car, say if you got 4 $200 cars, that's about $800, right? So $800 to drive to Atlanta. So even if you don't find anything going back, you know, just going to Atlanta, turn around and coming home, that's still an $800 day. And Atlanta is only about 4 hours from here.
Yeah, about 4.
Well, I'm in Atlanta, but from where he is, about 4 hours.
Yeah, about 4 hours.
So it's about 4 hours. So even if you had to put gas and everything in, you still would cap at least $600 or something for that day.
A question that I had was like, so how does the dispatch work for this?
So that is so to get those cars is used on Central Dispatch, which is a website, centraldispatch.com. That's what I was using. Centraldispatch.com has pretty much all the cars that are looking to be moved from anywhere in the nation. And you just go on there, you look for some cars, you can put in your destination. You can put in a radius to say I'm picking up in this area. So you can say I'm in the Tallahassee, Florida area, and I'm looking to go to Atlanta. And that's pretty much it. And then you'll see a bunch of cars that are headed up here because it's a bunch of people buying cars from up here. And they're buying them from those like Copart areas or those car auction areas. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of these kind of dealerships, these record kind of dealerships or whatever, that are selling cars to investors or dealerships that plan on doing the body work and fixing it up or putting the battery in the car and then getting it back on the road or whatever. But I just know that in his area, there is a location where this is actually a pretty normal thing where they're always coming. So some people buy 4 cars at a time. Now, I will say this, though. You may find a car going to this one location, then you might find 2 going to this other location. You might find another one going to another location. So you may have to build out your trailer that way, but it's relatively easy. You just call up. So when you find some cars and you say, okay, well, this car, say if it's a Mercedes going to Atlanta from down there, it'll tell you what the car is paying. Let's say the car is paying $150. You said, no, I'm looking for a $200 car. True. So you find a $200 car. It might be a Lexus going to Atlanta. And so you say, okay, well, I'm going to book that one. So you book that one, or you just, so the phone number will be on the on the car information. You could just expand it, see the car information. It's on centraldispatch.com, and you just call the number that is on the thing, and you just say, hey, I'm looking to pick up some cars down that way. I'm headed to Atlanta. Is this car still available? They say yes, or maybe we just dispatched it to someone. But usually I didn't get a lot of those. Usually as soon as they dispatch it to someone, it's no longer available. So when you see it, it's usually available. It tells you the rate. It'll tell you like drop off, make sure you pick up the title or something like that. Make sure you check to make sure the title is with the vehicle before you move it, before you bring it up. And they're usually like in the glove box or something like that. Or maybe they're just not even with the vehicle, or the person doesn't care about it. So you'll make sure you follow whatever the little details are. You say, I'm looking to move the car, and then they'll say, what's your MC number, or what's your DOT number, or whatever. You'll give them your number. They'll dispatch the.
What is like the MC number and the DOT number?
Oh, yeah. So we gotta go all the way back for that. So your DOT number is your is Department of Transportation number, and that allows you to like basically operate a commercial vehicle, in your state. But when you cross state lines, you have to have an MC number, motor carrier number, or whatever. So you have both numbers though, but they can find you based off your DOT number in the system. So they'll ask you, what's your DOT number? You tell them your DOT number. They can pull up all your company information, so they can see that you have appropriate insurance and all of those things that can move their vehicle. So they'll pull you up. They'll dispatch. They'll say, hey, is your company, whatever you want to call it. And so you'll tell them, yes, this is my company. And then they'll dispatch it to your DOT number, right? And so once they do that, then you can see it. It'll show up in your inbox. It's like you have a car dispatched to you in centraldispatch.com. You'll then take the paperwork, or you could either print it off, or you can just use it on your phone. But it'll tell you like the car you're going to pick up. It'll tell you where it's going, like the address it's going to. It'll say that you can pick it up. So then you pick the car up. And when you get to the place, you tell them, hey, I'm here to get this car, this car, this car. They'll release it based off of the information. It has to match up. So they'll release the car to you. You then, say, hey, I'm here to pick up this car, this car, this car, and this car. And, and then you usually have a day or two to have it delivered. So let's say you want to pick it up, but maybe there's another car in, say, Dothan, Alabama, that you want to run over or get. Maybe 2 cars over there. Maybe you pick 2 cars up from there, 2 cars up from there. They may be paying $300-$400 to go a little further than Atlanta or something. So you shoot over there and you say, okay, well, for each one of these deliveries, you're going to deliver within maybe 2 days. Right. So you just tell the pickup and drop off people before they dispatch it to you how long it's going to be before you actually deliver it. And so you might have a couple of days that you have to deliver the cars. But me, I'm a money person, so I'm trying to get there. We try to do units, right? I'm trying to move units as fast as possible. So
true.
In my mind, I'm trying to get it dropped off today, pick something else up, go drop that off. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hold on to anything unless I got to hold on to it overnight, which might be something like, let's say you pick up 4 cars, South Georgia or North Florida, and you're going to drop them off in Atlanta. Okay. Then you pick up some cars in Atlanta once you dropped off, because if you got to go drop off in 4 different locations, it's going to take you 4 hours to get to Atlanta, might take you 2 hours to offload, depending on, all the different areas you got to go to. Yeah. But then you might pick up 2 cars that might be headed back down to, say, Tallahassee from Atlanta, and those 2 cars might be paying $200. So that might be $400 or whatever that you would get for taking them back down. That could be a $1,200 a day outside of gas and things like that. But you go pick up 2 cars to take back down, but by the time you get back down, most places might be closed if it's going to take you 4 hours to get back down. So if you pick those cars up, you might have had time to drop off the other cars, pick those 2 cars up, but on your way back down, the place that you might be dropping them off to in Tallahassee might be closed. So you can, hold them overnight, drop them off early in the morning, pick up 2 more cars from Tallahassee, bring them back to Atlanta. And this can be a continuous kind of route.
Okay, so another question is then, what type of license would you have to do the driving for the drivers?
To do, especially like a trailer that would support that many cars, you're going to have a CDL, Class A. More than likely, I'm pretty sure. You're going to have a Class A CDL because a trailer that large just automatically requires it because your driver license doesn't go on length of a trailer or go on how much you actually have on the truck or the size of the truck. The license requirement is actually going to go off of the gross vehicle weight rating that the truck and trailer combination have. So if you go over 26,000 pounds GVWR, you got to have a CDL. So you get your Class A based off of the fact that the trailer is already going to be weighted maybe at 22,000 GVWR, and the truck that you're driving might be rated at 14,000 GVWR. You're definitely over the 26, right? Yeah. So you have to get a driver license that supports the connection. Now, you may not even have 26,000 pounds on the trailer, or that you may not be carrying that much weight, but just because the setup that you have is connected or is rated at that, you have to have an appropriate driver license that goes along with that. Okay.
So next is newer used trucks and the best truck to get.
Yeah. So my opinion, based on all the research that I did, I went with a new truck. And I still think it's a great decision to go with a new truck. That's my opinion. I know a lot of people have gone with used trucks. I went with a new truck because I went and looked at some used trucks. And a lot of the used trucks, because of the style of business that this is a road, work truck. Like people buy these trucks to drive. And when we're talking about Hotshot trucking, we're talking about dually truck with a trailer combination. And the trailer could be a flatbed, the trailer could be a car hauler, trailer, whatever kind of trailer setup you got, whatever it is, it's called Hotshot trucking. And the reason I went with a new truck was because when I was finding old truck, even a 3, 4, 5-year-old truck, they may have 60, 70, 80,000 miles on them because they're been driven across country, they've been, on the road. This is how you make your money, is the truck got to keep moving. And so these trucks are being moved around a lot. And so even a 3 or 4-year-old truck may have a lot of miles. And the thing about trucks don't usually they don't depreciate like cars do. So these trucks I saw a truck that was like a 2015 with like 80,000 miles on it, and they still wanted almost 50,000. And I was like, man, this is crazy. When I can, or 55, 60,000. And I was like, man, this is crazy. Especially when a brand new Dodge Ram ran me less than 60,000 with a Cummins engine and the Aisin transmission. And that's another thing you guys want to remember. You want to remember to use the Aisin transmission. Aisin is AISIN. A lot of dealerships won't know what an Aisin transmission, or a lot of car salesmen may not know what an Aisin transmission is because they may sell a variety of cars. Now, if they specialized in just selling the Dodge Ram, then they probably know. But there's a Chrysler transmission that comes standard, and then there's an Aisin transmission that's better for towing and things like that. And that's a much better transmission than the Chrysler transmission. I hear a lot of the Chrysler transmissions have issues, but the Aisin transmission will last the test of time usually. But just remember that Aisin transmission and the Cummins motor. But I would get the 3500 Dodge Ram 3500 brand new personally. So that's what I would do. Now, I do know people who have gone and just bought $10,000 dualies, and, they made their money before it, caused them any issues, and just kept them up. So it's not saying that couldn't help, but I also didn't want to really have to do a lot of maintenance. Bought a brand new truck, trying to get it going, and it worked perfect for me. Yeah. So, but if some people get the Ford, some people like the Chevys, but for this kind of work, Dodge Ram is king. So, yeah. Any other questions?
Honestly,
we good?
You answered pretty much everything that I had in my head, but I take that back. It's one more question. I think everybody wants to know this specific question. The pay scale, yearly, monthly.
Right. So this is the thing we were talking about before. It's hard to say because everybody's company is gonna be different, right? Somebody out there gonna make 6 figures. Somebody out there gonna make 150, 180. Somebody out there gonna make 5,000. Because it's about how much you run the truck. How efficient you are with finding loads, no matter what they are. Some people moving sheet metal, some people moving cars. So it just depends on what you're moving. Your dispatch service, are you dispatching yourself? There's a lot of expenses, what you're paying your driver, how much you pay on insurance. Somebody may pay $25,000 in insurance. Somebody else might be paying $9,000.
Okay.
So it's so many different variations of how this thing can go.
So would that insurance be based off of like your driving record, or
it's going to be based off of your driver record? It's going to be based off of you being a new company. If you are an owner and you don't have a CDL, your insurance is going to be higher. Okay. Right? It's just going to be higher, just automatically. If you are an experienced driver, your insurance is going to be lower, but it still might be kind of high the first, not necessarily high, but higher on the higher end, compared to where you would be in your 4th and 5th year operating the business. You know what I'm saying? But initially, it's going to be a little higher. But, so you got insurance, you have the trailer setup that you have. Like you may buy a car hauler, and the car hauler you might be $3,000-$4,000, or you might go buy a flatbed, and that flatbed might run you $12,000 to $15,000. So it just depends on, and even then, are you buying your flatbed brand new, or are you buying it used? Are you buying your car trailer used, or are you buying it new? Or so I had a situation where one of my friends, he went crazy. He used to drive semi trucks. Okay. He's made he made a couple $1 million, since high school. He went straight into driving trucks from high school, got his own truck, his uncle co-signed for him. Straight out of high school, he's on the road, doing his own thing. So he's had up to, I think, 7 or 8 trucks at a time. He had a couple FedEx routes or UPS routes. I can't remember which one is. He had some routes, some kind of delivery routes, and semi trucks. He had like a few semi trucks on the road at the same time, a bunch of drivers. So he had made a couple $1 million. By that point, before he went to Hotshot trucking, and he crossed over into the Hotshot trucking route because he was like, "Yo, these trucks, they're making money and they're not expensive to fix. And they're easier to get into as well." So he switched over to Hotshot trucking, but because he still had a lot of equipment and trucks that he kind of like liquidated a lot of stuff, and then he started buying trailers to go with his Hotshot trucking business. So he had like 4 or 5 trailers, like car trailers, because he was basically like, "Oh, I'm just hauling these cars from Orlando to Atlanta, or Orlando to Tallahassee, or Orlando to Miami, or whatever." He was just enjoying he can make money anytime he wanted, because he knew, if he can get up on a Saturday, make it to an auction, it's people out there, who are buying vehicles at auctions, and they're looking to move those vehicles. And so he just out there with his trailer, and he's like, "Yo," plus he can get on Central Dispatch. Plus he can, he was known in certain areas, and he knew car dealerships and moving around vehicles. So he asked me, he said, "Do you, I got a couple trailers. I got a 3, 4, 5 car hauler." He had a CDL Class A. He was used to driving big rigs, so 5 cars, 6 cars is no big deal for him. True. So he was like, "Yo, do you want to borrow one of my trailers? I got a 3 car hauler. You could just You know, you throw it on your insurance and, just, it's sitting. You want to use it, you can use it. So there are people like that who are out here that you might be able to just talk to and, maybe get your own, like borrow some of their equipment or maybe rent some of their equipment until you're able to go down there and buy your own. Anyway, right now you watching Casino Is the Name. It's my cousin PJ, by the way. This is my new clothing line, Luciano Cartel. So I will have the link in the description. So man, y'all want to support Luciano Cartel, you know what I'm saying? My little luxury clothing line I'm trying to get going.
I think I did it backwards. It should have been this way.
Yeah, Luciano Cartel. And so in case you guys got any other questions, you can get in the comment section and, we'll try and get those answered in another video. Because you want to holler at them?
No, just stay tuned. The YouTube channel is about to come real soon. Giving great content with me and my cousin, and then also a couple more people come in co-starring too on the channel. So Cuz is planning on starting his own YouTube channel.
And by the way, he don't want to tell y'all his Instagram yet, but mine is @King Casino 1, and that would be the number 1, not ONE. So KINGCASINO and the number 1, and we out of here. There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. It's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino Is the Name.